All right. Now, if I had to check the microphone, make sure the microphone check is good. Microphone check one, two. What is this? All right. So might have to talk a little louder, but yeah, man, we here. Um, trying to get some of this topic about upgrading your life. You know, I'm just speaking in general for everybody. When you upgrade your life, it's a beautiful thing, man. You have things that you want to do. You have things that need to be done that are done. But far as at the end of the day, upgrading your life, that's the topic. When it come down to it, I'm just gonna say it like this: a lot of people don't want to upgrade. They want to remain the same. You know, lie dormant. You know, don't want to do anything that can make me have to, do something. I just want the same outcome in life. Why I gotta go to college and try to be successful, make some of myself? Why I just can't, stay at my mama house forever? You know, why can't I, for the most part, don't know how to drive, don't want to drive, have somebody chauffeur me around? I don't need to pay for Uber. I ain't got no job, no money. I get somebody else to do that. You know, the reason why I put that gas there for a minute, but also speak on like programming. Systems are in play, you know, for like a computer operating system. You know, I think it's Linux and all these other operating systems. But the main intent of the operating system is, I ain't too computer savvy or getting into it, but close the show. The main thing for the operating system is basically it's a program where stuff should be ran smoothly off that particular system. You might get the viruses and everything else, but that's why you have protection against the viruses so the system will run smoothly. And I'm also going to do a video about training in Olympics, and it's going to push up to this topic as well. But for the most part, systems run smooth. You might have some things that need implemented, so that's why you do an upgrade. You know, let's say you have a phone and the phone has better systems in play to make it run a little smoother. Um, Graphics can be a little better, so it's an upgrade in play. Some people don't want that upgrade. Some people just don't know how to upgrade. And I'm speaking that about life. You know, my grandma always told me about two type of foods: the old food and the young food. Most of the time, the young foods are the people that grow old and don't change. You know, we have a lot of people in the community out. They feel as if, you know, why I got to do this and why I got to do that. You know, that's why I speak on about feelings. There's nothing wrong with having feelings. You know, because that's the emotional side of people. But when your feelings start to make your judgments and you don't know how to, separate the two, that's when you start having issues. Okay, you have people coming into your life. They'll sit here and come into your life to try to, help you out and try to, give you some little advice, give you on the lines of emotions and stuff like that. Try to, help you do better and be better in life. But the catch is, not if you get too emotional with your feelings, because once you start getting the feelings involved, the judgment it's not up to par. Let's say you always knew that you wanted a Honda or something like that. Hondas are pretty decent cars and pretty good cars for the most part. And you say, I'm gonna go ahead and give me a Honda. You know, this car is good, dependable car, lasts for a long time, and I'm gonna get a Honda. But you have your cousin come in there, he start pushing you. Man, let's say Ford. This Ford is awesome, man. I love this Ford, man. You know, you ought to get one, man. I'm telling you, it's good. Man, I like Hondas. Nah, man, I'm telling you, the Ford is like the best car ever, man. Look at the seats. Look at this. Got all the bells and the whistles. Man, it's like greatest car ever. Nah, get a Honda. But the moment they put something in there, let's say, man, look what your phone can do. It can charge on the armrest. Just put on the armrest and it charge. Do you like your phone to stay charged? Or you want to look at, let's say, YouTube on your dashboard? Yeah, it's got a TV monitor built into it. So all you got to do is just play your music and stuff and look at YouTube while you're driving. And that's when your feelings get involved. Because why? You know, oh man, I like that. I ain't never had a car to do that. Versus the standard stuck to. This is a dependable car, but because of this little feature, it make you feel different about your choice. And when it comes down to it, that's like one of the biggest things about certain people with their intent. Their feelings get involved and it start messing things up. And when it do that, go ahead and hit the like button. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. Let's see. Go ahead and drop this link for people to come up. But yeah, I mean it's just crazy, man. You have people in their feelings come in there and they actually, feel a certain way to the extent to where all they want to do is just, pounce around, jump around, this and that, because the feelings get involved. That's like relationships. You stick to your gun. You know that you want a woman that cooks and cleans, and you know you have that relationship. You want a man that does the same thing. You know, take care of the household. He steps out. He do what needs to be done. In most cases, don't even have to ask. This man is, just stepping in. Is like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Just tell me what needs to be done. I'm gonna do it. Cool. There we go. But then you'll have that aspect to say, man, I feel like this girl, she's so pretty. She the one. Don't she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, she might even listen to the WAP song. But the whole thing of it is, that's your feelings about it. Your feelings got you in the mindset of pushing all your goals, your dreams, everything to the side just because on the premise of your feelings. Sticking to your guns. You got Big Mom, she been with Granddad for years. But what she been doing with Granddad for years? Working with him, you know, he do his thing. He out there wilding. She's still with him though, you know. She's mad at what he's doing, but it ain't taking away if she not doing nothing. But the whole point of it is, they working together, you know. And a lot of people look at, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna upgrade. I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna stay single because I don't got to deal with that. It's gonna be a better me, better values, better goals. You know, hey, to each his own. You know, I always push people, to the premise of whatever you do and you comfortable and you happy with it, that's on you. I only can judge you on the outer realm of what I see, but when it comes up to you, you got to make that decision. I tell people all the time, I'm getting away from all this, this whole gender war fight stuff. But I mean, it's always gonna be there. In relationship, you're gonna have this male and female dynamic to where they're always gonna be a war with each other. You know, you have to come to the table, work this out with a solution. You know, the upgrade in a situation to where you could work with someone is easy. You know, it's it's easier to deal with someone that appreciates you versus dealing with someone that's just mainly going against you. You know, and I say that because in relationship, it's not a one size fit all thing. You know, there are some relationships have up and down. There's some relationships just work out perfect. But the point of it is, in those relationships, you know, there's certain things built. You know, you might have a man that loves a woman with all his heart, but there's certain things that woman do he don't like. Same thing with the woman. There's certain things that a man does and a woman don't like, but she loves him with all her heart. Those two individuals are working out on their terms. You know, you'll have situations where everybody from the outside coming in and telling you different stuff, telling you different narratives, and they don't look good. They're not giving you the greatest advice. They're not telling you how good this advice is, going to help you out in the long run. They're more or less just kicking it with the advice to try to, you know, push a narrative to you because they just don't want you to be with that person. They're not a nice person. They don't look like pretty much in the future it's gonna be a good fit for you. You know, in most cases, they just want to see you happy. But seeing you happy is not just being in a relationship with someone that's gonna do you wrong. You know, but like I say, to each his own. A lot of people go through struggles, and sometimes they have to go through a bad relationship to know what they're getting out of the deal. You know, in most cases, a lot of people just don't know. You don't know if you're going through a good deal unless you go through some people. You know, unless you have some type of proper training, know what you're dealing with, how, when, what, why. W's and H. Because it's one thing to read a book on how to fix a car. It's another thing to actually go out here, read the book, and go fix on the car. You know, life experiences are the best. They push you in the right direction. Sometimes a relationship can be a teaching lesson for some. Sometimes a relationship, you know, what they call it, a situation to where it's past and just, give you time to reflect. Sometimes relationships can be a motivator. You know, you might be with someone that's heading in a better direction, and this is where I'm coming from, talking about the upgrading to where their mindset is to be better than it was last year. Their mindset is to make $1 million before they die. Your mindset may be just to live life. Your mindset may be to just get to the next day, and to each his own. You know, but the people with that mindset that want to upgrade and do better in life, they not sitting up here, going through the ringer with you. They're not sitting up here trying to figure things out, trying to say that what you're doing is bad for both of them. They're just moving on. And see, sometimes you get left behind because just honest, it's just a lack of knowledge. You don't know, you know. In some cases, you never had the proper training on how to live a certain way. When it comes down to it, a man who's interested in marriage, If he's not taught certain key values on marriage or how to get married, what should he do? He should seek wise counsel. And with that being said, that doesn't mean that if I want to get married, I'm gonna go to my friend and ask him, you know, about being married. No, me and this guy about the same age. Me and this guy is living life on almost equal terms. You know, we might have different jobs, but it's almost on equal terms. But the point of it is, I don't take away if he has some type of knowledge to offer me. Thing is, I'm gonna have to be critical about the knowledge that he's implying because I don't know how well he's lived or lived through it. You know, I could tell you information in which the situation I've been in, and you can assess it and say, okay, well, seeing that this guy, my friend, me and him are cool. He's been in relationships, been with women. They did it wrong, came out on top. Okay, I could take a little bit, but let me do a little bit more research. But you can also deal with an elder that's lived life for a long time. And he could put you in the mind frame of, I've been here for 20 years in a marriage. I've been here in a relationship dealing with this woman for 10 years. And we're just together. We're not in a marriage. But the point of it is, she's a good woman, and the foolishness will come in. You'll have guys that'll sit there, give you the worst advice. Not just saying that all elders are giving you great advice, but some of them will give you bad advice. I always go back to this single mother talk in which most people be talking about. I don't go for that. Like single mothers are bad, single mothers are this, and single mothers don't know what they're doing. Like that's a woman that had a baby. She didn't make a mistake. In some cases, it might be, but by her having that child willfully, she accepted that she was bringing a child into this world and she knew she had to take care of that child. Now, if the man doesn't help her take care of that child, then so be it. What's going on, Juan? Sheila? Then so be it. But the point of it is, that child coming into that situation with that woman, she know her responsibility, you know, and she knows she has to step up to the challenge and do certain things to where she's not moving the same no more. You know, let's say in a situation, how you doing, Char?
Greetings. How are you?
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. You like how I sneaked in? I didn't type in the chat room. I did the chaos.
Yeah, I was kind of questioning it because I had a group of trolls yesterday, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, they was spamming my videos, but yeah, just doing a little talk on just upgrading in life, and not just more or less in relationship, just a man being a man, a woman being a woman, and just knowing what they're going out of life. Because I always talk about knowledge of self, and being that you have knowledge of self, then you pretty much know what you want, know how to, maneuver in life, know what you're dealing with, know what you're getting yourself into, just from that frame of mind.
Hmm. Okay. Well, sometimes we don't know what the goal is because we don't know what we want. But once we, continue in life, I'm like, I don't like this. I had this experience. It was bad. I'm going to try something different. So let me move over here or let me get a new skill. Depends on what it is.
That's true. And I also talk about like the training because back in the day, men took the young man out, showed him how to change a tire, and we'll have conversations.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I think it was my uncle was talking to me about girls. That was my cousin actually. He was telling me about girls, saying, "Yeah, got your girlfriend?" I was like, "Yeah, I got a girl I talked to at school." He's like, "You kiss her?" And I think I was pretty young, about eight, somewhere around there, 7 or 8. And
Yeah.
he was just talking to me. He was like, girls are gonna start coming up to you, trying to have the, almost birds and the bees halfway talk without going all the way there. Just telling me, as you get older, girls are gonna be interested in you. You're gonna be interested in girls, but just make sure that when you're ready to sit down and have that talk, you can come and talk to me. I'll be here. You don't have to talk to your grandma or any other woman. You got men that you can talk to. And that was there for
Right.
me if I needed it or not. We don't have that available as of right now in most cases. You know, like it was a situation with my daughter as she was growing up. I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, you might need to start talking to her about, sex and birds and the bees because she was getting into middle school and I would always notice her trying to, wear a little lipstick and certain little things to dress herself up. I'm like, she's doing this for somebody. So like have the talk. And then lo and behold, she was using a computer one day and I go to type in something in the computer and the first letter I typed was an H
Oh.
and it popped up how to kiss. And I just started laughing because I knew it was my daughter. My son rarely used the computer, so I knew it was her. And I was like, yeah, you might want to talk to her before this get out of control, because ultimately, you got kids just telling other kids how to do things, and the parents don't have literally no input.
Right.
Mhm.
Wow. I'm glad my mom told me everything at 5 years old.
Mhm. Yeah.
Literally. Every only thing she left out, and I realized that when I got about 8, 17, maybe, that I thought a man had an erection at all times. That's the only thing she didn't say. And then as far as being ready for a man, I didn't realize that you had to be excited for your body to be able to accept a man. But those are only two things that she had not just told me fully, but everything else, where it was, what it did, who does what, she told me everything.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff I kind of, ran into it, looking at books, seeing my uncles having tapes and stuff, and popping them in the DVD. And a couple of times I got caught, so they had to explain to me you know, what was going on and what was happening and how it should be handled. But other than
Oh,
that,
okay.
it's kind of walked into it. You know,
Let's see. Do you have a Cash app I can post in the chat room? I'm so used to modding that it just seems like something's wrong if I don't have anything to post.
yeah, I don't actually. My Cash App got closed down. That's why I've been really sending nobody Cash App. They actually closed 3 of my Cash Apps down. So
Oh,
yeah, I had multiple. I don't know if it was like an issue with having multiple Cash Apps, and I knew with one of them it was a situation with me sending too much money back and
oh,
forth. So
oh,
that kind
yeah.
of yeah.
Oh,
And
well.
I'm in the process of trying to open up my last one I had for my channel. So I
Okay.
could just I might just make a PayPal and some other stuff for later and do that then.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out and I meant to be asking people about a PayPal because I just have a personal PayPal with my government name. I don't have one for the channel, and I've been meaning to ask people, how do you do that? Because I tried to change it, the name, but it didn't take, and that was like 2017. What was that, 28? I think it was 2018 I tried. And I gave up. I didn't know what I was doing. I said, I need to ask. And I forgot
Oh
to
yeah.
ask.
Well, on YouTube now they got all the videos talking about it now. Just pull up a YouTube video, and then if that's not the case, I'll get in touch with Gold Professor because he's actually coming out here this weekend. I'll be talking to him. He's coming from California, so he's gonna meet up with me, the guy Kane, the guy, and I think probably Smooth, but we can get him. All of us supposed to
Okay.
be just meeting up and just talking.
All right. Now, if you remember, I appreciate it. I'm writing it down for myself so I won't forget. Okay.
All right, I got a mental note of it. Yeah, because oh yeah, I can actually. Matter of fact, I'll send you an email because I have underrated's number. I'll call him later on, and me and him are going to be talking, so I'll discuss it with him.
Okay. Thank you.
No,
Get me
you're
that
welcome.
information whenever you can. I'll definitely change it or create another one, whatever I need to do. So I'll know. Yeah, because
No,
everything is taxable. And I'm like, I didn't want to give out. I mean, I pretty much came to YouTube with my government name. I didn't know. I had no idea, but I had nothing to hide, so I didn't care. So,
uh, that, that's how my first channel was. I came with my government name because it was my Gmail. I just
hmm
put my government name in there, had it out. I would go on panels with my government name and talk to people. And after a while, someone just told me, you might want to keep your name out from being doxxed and like the doxing and all this. I didn't know what that was. I was like, this is a whole new thing for me. Like
yeah,
learning about doxing and everything else. I was like, wow.
yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as your title upgrade, I need a pension. That's what I need. I'm not old enough to get one. Um, and wherever I start, they don't make them anymore. So I need a pension. Got an idea how I can upgrade a pension?
You know, you can get you an IRA. That's about gonna be the closest.
Pension.
Because I don't think too many jobs make it like that no more. My
Right.
my
That's what I
friend,
want.
it was funny. He actually was grandfathered in to his the one he had because they actually cut it out of his job because he worked for the school board.
Uh-huh.
They actually cut the pension out probably 2 3 years after he joined. So he was grandfathered in, and basically, as long as
Nice.
he stay there, he's good.
That's
But other
good.
than that, they taking those pensions out. It's like no, because it was funny. One of the guys I talked to, he used to work for a hospital, and when they closed down, I guess the department he worked for, or just in general with the network at the hospital he was working with, they had a pension, and he's getting like $500 or $600 a month now. He gets that for the rest of his life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cheer anybody on that gets it. I really do. Because I saw how the companies just started changing. And I'm like, that's real funny. These people can do the wrong thing and still keep their pension. You can
Yeah.
convict them of all kind of stuff, but they can still get their pension. And find out most of those they're from the taxpayer, especially if they're police officers. So that's what made me really angry about it. And I just started having a passion for a pension. I'm like, wait a minute, they do the wrong thing and get one. I'm doing the right thing to get. Oh no, that's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That's acting crazy.
you can get this nice 401k. I don't want that. I give you $1. You give me 50 cent. You tax it and charge me fees. So your 50 cent is only probably about 22 cent when you're done. I'm like, get out of here with that.
That'd be the rough part about that. But most jobs they match it. That's a good thing, and some put even a little more in. I mean, that's awesome, but it's rarely you get those type of jobs like that. I was talking to Alonzo one day, and he was telling me this guy named Alonzo Hall that does insurance in this space, and he was talking about how most of the high end jobs, when you go corporate, they'll take out a life insurance policy out on you, and they'll calculate the number of years that you will work for them. Let's say 20 years or 30 years maybe, They'll take your salary and multiply it, and they'll take out a life insurance policy based on that
Mm.
because you're going to be an investment to them. So if you're lost, that's pretty much a hurt for them. And a lot of companies do that. The company I was working for, a moving company, they took out a policy on one of the guys. He had like 3 strokes, and he ended up
Wow.
dying on the I think third one. He had like 2 strokes and died on the third one. In
Mm.
which they had a policy out on him, and his son got mad when he found out about it. But this guy was a union employee. He's been with the company for 20 years. So
Yeah. These companies, they have a policy on us anyway.
they
And
should.
I figured it out. I think I was about 23 because I think that was my second job. Yeah, I think that was my second permanent full-time job. I was about 23 years old. And they had me to fill out these things and I'm looking at them like, "Wait a minute. Why am I filling this out? Why do you need this? What are you talking about?" And as I, did some investigation, found out that's what these companies, they're profiting from us as
Hmm.
employee. I'm like, "Gee, you think you're getting working and getting a living wage and getting somewhere. Shoot, they're making money off of you."
Dead or alive.
Right, dead or alive. That sucks.
And one of the biggest things is too with the companies while they're doing that, they get it in bulk. So they'll get a policy, but
Right.
because they deal with so many employees, the more they bring on, the cheaper their policies are for them. So they'll come in pay like $10,000 or 5,000 for one person with $100,000 coverage.
Right. They
That's
like,
like
we got about 10 Negroes. I mean, 10 employees. Um, how much can I insure these people for? Ain't that
exactly.
something? Wow.
Hmm.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, what are you up to for today, the rest of your evening?
Nothing. I'm actually gonna be going to one of my friends' house. He's came back in from Kuwait actually.
Oh, okay.
He works overseas, so I think he's actually gonna be done with the contract that he was on, and he's coming back full time to America. He does real
Oh,
estate, so it's not gonna be a bad thing for him. He's already had a job doing that anyway. He's just coming
okay.
back to it. So, but he's coming back with a little bit more money with him.
And a pension too, probably.
Yeah,
Dang. Well, that's
and
good for him.
yeah, because we was talking about our life insurance because he was telling me how much policy he has, and I was telling him how much I have on my policy,
Hmm.
and he was like, "Yeah, there's no fish fries and gold funds for us."
Right.
Yeah, because that's real important. My family, I think my grandma, she was the only one that probably was buried without life insurance, but she had it, but my uncles just let it lapse. But other than that, you
Hmm.
know, like everybody in our family was buried. All of us had well, all of them had life insurance when they died, and I got it for my kids. I'm actually getting their own policy, but I have a rider policy for all my kids on on one of my major policies.
It's so interesting. Our parents and grandparents made a lot less than we did, worked hard, and had more. And here we are. We're earning more. We have a lot of stuff. We have some debt too, but a lot of our stuff is not paid. It's so interesting if you look at that, but that's just the way it is. We're
Yeah,
enticed, whether you know it or not, when you see these commercials saying you should get this iPhone. It does this, that. You know what? I think I do need that iPhone. How much is it? $1,000? Oh, okay. I can pay it off in 4 years. Sign me up. And we do those type of things. We spend our money on things that we can't afford. And even though you put off the payments or you call yourself spreading them out, you end up with a lot of debt, some things that you just don't need, and it hurts us in the end. I
Yeah.
think this season of coronavirus, we learned a lot. We really learned a lot of what some things that we don't need, because some things we couldn't get at, whether we were laid off and couldn't afford it, we were in the house and we worked with what we had and only bought what we needed when we had to buy something. So that should have been a time for us to really recognize and look around at what's life about. You couldn't get to the hairdresser, couldn't get your nails done, your feet done, your hair cut. Everything was closed. That was the time to learn how to do it yourself.
Well, that
But
is true.
a lot of people did, some didn't. But I'm just hoping a lot have learned a lesson because that's what our parents and grandparents used to do. They did it themselves. Save a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my wife about us getting hardwood floors at our house. It's like one of the biggest things she been pressuring me besides getting a Mercedes.
Oh boy.
And and so I told her I'll go ahead and do the hardwoods, and she was like, "Can you do it?" I was like, "It's not that hard. I mean, in most cases they have that snap wood where you don't have to glue; it actually snaps together. And some of them require pads at the bottom, you know, basically for spills, so it won't seep down into the wood and into the
Uh-huh.
structure of the house and all that. So they have like a, it's almost like plastic, but to be honest, it's just a little seal that kind of protects and it makes the wood absorb the liquid if it gets through. But most of those lock and seal and certain hardwoods, they actually, if they're installed properly,
Hmm.
it relieves all the liquids just to stay right on the surface versus going through the wood.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so I did my little research on it, but I'm actually gonna wait next time till she go on another vacation. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do. I'm gonna get this epoxy, and I'm gonna try to color the floor with epoxy. I'm just gonna wait till she goes out. I'm gonna put the
Hmm.
wood down first, and then I'm gonna do the epoxy, see how it looks. And if it looks good, I'm gonna do all the floors like that because they have like a epoxy that you can make your floors look like a ballroom, like marble or something like that. It looks good. I've done a little bit more research on YouTube. It's a company called Stone Cold Countertops,
Uh-huh.
and not only do they do countertops, you can use it on your floors and all that. It looks good. I've been watching a lot of videos on it, and people make craft with that stuff too.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I wish you success on that. I'm pretty sure you will be able to do it with no issue. Take your time and you're doing your
Mm,
research and you can always holler for help.
yeah, yeah. I got a couple of family members that'll help me, no problem. You know, that's one thing. We might have a little ins and out fights, but when it come down to it, we squash everything and get to the business.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to have my late lunch. It's 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. And I will catch you later.
All right now.
It's good talking to you.
All right. All right. And we are still here. But going into some things into the topic, um, just upgrading yourself, men and women coming to the realization that they need to do better. They need to do more. You know, in most cases, you're at a disadvantage if you don't grow. You know, 20 years ago, you didn't look the same. You aged a little more. Your hair might be a little longer, might be a little shorter. You know, not wearing the same clothes, hopefully, but not just far as weight, but far as style. when it comes down to that point. When it comes down to it, just being better and, trying to carry yourself in a different manner, that's the key. And the reason I'm basically focusing on this upgrade, because like I'm saying, when it comes down to it, you have a lot of people just want to remain the same. They don't want to change, they don't want to do anything that's going to bring them out of their comfort zone. And once you get out of your comfort zone, that's one of the key things that people need to more or less focus on. It creates a character and build. You know, let's say you get to a point in your life to where you want the house with the picket fence and two kids and a dog. That's an upgrade. Like, how are you gonna you know get to that level? Anybody can just go out here and make kids and buy a house and all that, but the upgraded mindset of you doing all this, you're preparing yourself for it. Knowing the things that you have to do, knowing what it takes. Because like I said, anybody can get a house, with good credit. Anybody can start a family. If you have a person that's willing, or you might have a oops baby. But the point of it is, can you maintain that relationship? Can you maintain those payments without the knowledge of, knowing and willing about houses? You know, you'll have someone that just, for the most part, all they'll want to do is just say, I have a house, I've maintained this, I've done this for my life, I've done well, I've done good. Yeah, but for how long? You know, you have situations where people don't know how to budget their money. And like I told Roger, I said, when it comes down to it, I'm gonna keep doing these series on Help the Bear, because it's not just from a standpoint with men and women as well. You know, Help the Bear is all about you, going for yourself, not on no independent. Because I basically even told my son this. When it comes down to being independent, you have the independent crowd wanting to be independent. They're separating yourself. What do we celebrate? 4th of July. What is that? Independence Day. We got our independence from who? There you go. So for any woman that wants to be independent, you're just separating yourself, you know? So, like, gotta know when you start speaking words and, you know, speaking it to an existence. When you start having, you know, certain conversations about, I don't want no man because, when a man doesn't come your way, you can't get mad because you're spoken into the earth, spoken into the atmosphere, you know? I mean, just to get along, gang, the struggle, the struggle bonding, I always call it or refer to it, men and women. You have to upgrade your mind, get yourself out of that mentality. Because if you say you really truly don't want a man, or if you say you truly really don't want a woman, let's not talk about them. Let's focus on the upgrade of you. Let's focus on in some business. Let's focus on, in the words of Char, getting a pension. You know, create a pension for yourself. Create a pension in order for you to continue living. If you don't have kids to take care of you, even if you do have kids to take care of you, you're gonna need hospice care. You know, you have people that are doing this Corona season, dying in their homes. No one knows. They don't interact with people. They cut off their family because of situations. They're out there by themselves. No one to come in and say, this is, the right thing to do, this and that. No, you alienated yourself from everybody. You're not talking to people, whether it be family or friends. You go to work, do your job, and come home. You're completely shut off from the world. And forbid you have a job to where you only work online, where you don't have to interact with people. You completely remotely shut off from everybody. So that's that's a crazy thing to have. That loneliness, it can come up with some people, but once you get over that aspect of being lonely, it's good. But you know, I always remember it's a choice. To be lonely is a choice. You know, if you're in the mind frame of getting married, you're in the mind frame of wanting a relationship. That's a choice. If you're not in the mind frame of that, that is the choice also. So you have to accept everything that comes with it. You know, like I say, I speak from both ends. The main course of my channel is to focus on family and wealth, generational wealth at that. I keep pushing that. Hopefully I start a business or do something to actually have my grandkids remember me as being an honorable man that brought the family from somewhere. You know, my kids to, take a better path than I took. Because ultimately, that's where it always stands. That when it comes to your kids, you want better for your kids. You don't want to sit here and say, well, yeah, my my daughter, she's I'm a doctor, but my daughter, she wants to just work at McDonald's. She don't want to do nothing. So I'm just gonna let her work at McDonald's for the rest of her life. No, if I'm a doctor, you're gonna be a doctor, or you're gonna do something, great with your life. Help you start your own business. That's that's to me more bigger than me being a doctor, because you being self-employed, you can control everything. Especially if you're making the money, by all means. You know, I started several businesses. I've done several businesses. You know, I worked as managers. I worked just basic employees. You know, when it comes down to it, it comes down from your perspective of what you want out of life. How you want to upgrade your life, how you want to do better, how you want to be better. Because it all boils down to the mindset, like I keep referring to, what you want out of life. You can want the bare minimum and you get the results. You can want more out of life, but you have to produce those results. You know, if I if I want to be a gamer and all I have to do is just sit in front of a TV, computer monitor, whatever, and just play games all day, then so be it. That's what I am. You know, but if I want to do more of my life,